So today I'm going to talk about some of the comments I've had recently. My favorite part of doing these videos on this channel is hearing what people have to say, and I try to answer them all. But maybe the funniest one I've had for a long time is, if you follow this channel, you saw that I reposted a video. It was my last day on the Colorado Trail, my last campsite, which was in the Durango Airport in Colorado. And the reason I did that is because I heard from YouTube that I'd used some music that, wasn't royalty free or is copywritten or whatever. And the only way I could figure out how to fix it was to delete that video and repost it. So then it comes up as a new video. And I knew that was going to confuse people. So I put a comment in at the bottom that said, why I did it and why I had to do it. And it was right about the same time that the whole country was falling back time-wise, and one of my subscribers said, "Whew, I thought I turned my clock back too far." I love that. So the other interesting thing I find on these comments is I've got a couple hundred videos out there, so I never know what kind of questions are going to come in because people are finding those older videos. And recently I've had a couple on stoves, and so I've tried over the decades every kind of stove there is: liquid, gas, wood, and alcohol. And, there's really no one answer for all. You just have to kind of try all these things and find out what's most convenient for you, what works best for you, what kind of cooking you're going to do, and what kind of fuel you're going to need. Do you need something that simmers? Do you just boil in water to make a freeze-dried meal? All those things come into play. And so over the years, I can remember the first, what I would call lightweight piece of gear I ever owned back in the 70s. I bought a Jerry mini stove, which was about the size of a donut. And you took the lid and the base apart. One became the base, one became the pot holder, and then you just had a gas controller in the middle. And then you carried a little can of butane with just a little rubber nipple on it that stuck onto a shaft. And the problem with that is, after I used it not very long, those cans, when you pulled them off, they wouldn't stop the gas from coming out. So I went out on Isle Royal, so where I'd not find a replacement can. First night, pulled the can off and sprayed butane all over the place, couldn't stop it. So that one didn't last too long, even though it's kind of a neat design. I've had jet boils, that if you watch my videos on the AT, I fell onto my pack backwards and crushed that thing. And then I went to a cheap little BTS, I think it's called, a $10 stove and a titanium pot, and it all nests in here with the butane canister. Doesn't take up much real estate compared to what I used for probably 20 years, which was this zip stove here. This is like a blacksmith's forge, and so I've had several of these things. And basically you have a base here with a fan, and it runs on a battery, and you clip that to the bottom of this pot, and so it's like a blacksmith's forge when that oxygen hits that fuel. And I could boil water in 3 minutes once I got that baby going. It didn't take long to get it going. Once you had a flame and put some oxygen to it, boom. But I carried it in a titanium pot, and you can see that takes up a lot of real estate. And so, I thought probably for a long time, and I've gone back and forth on this, and I thought probably alcohol would be the easiest thing, but alcohol is way too slow for me. Maybe I'm impatient, but I don't find that to be the answer at all. You have to carry quite a bit of alcohol. It's very slow to boil anything. For a few ounces more, you get a kit like this, and you boil water in about 3 minutes. No fuss, no muss, no gathering wood. Really, the only reason I gave this up, because I really did like it, was not because of the real estate, not because of the weight. It was because of fires being the norm now, and in the West they kind of frown on open flames. And so I really like using a wood burner. And there are several out there even today that people still use, but you have to be careful. You get into areas you can't use them. And so again, there's no one fits all. You have to try all kinds of things to find out, you know, what fits into your little niche and what works for you. And you know, it's all about weight, it's about efficiency, it's about real estate in your pack. And again, now I don't use any of this stuff. I'm stoveless and couldn't be happier. You know, it took me a while to find food that I didn't have to cook or heat that made me happy, because you know, I wanted things I crave, because if you don't crave it, you don't eat it. And so if you're going to go stoveless, work on food before you do that, and don't go cold turkey, no pun intended. Keep smiling.